Here at the BizVision Conscious Business Academy, we cover many aspects of what a conscious business, conscious leader should be and should do. In many aspects, it's also a pullback to values that have been eroded or lost, such as care for colleagues, care for and appreciation of customers. I'm being blunt here. You don't really associate the big banks with a top-down commitment to being a conscious business. Yet their customers are doing so in their everyday business lives in aspects such as diversity, compliance, environmental care. Is this an opportunity for a new bank to have true empathy with its customers and lead the way? For the Conscious Business Show, I wanted to find answers to that thinking. So I made an environmentally friendly Zoom call to the CEO of New Bank Recognized, Jason Oakley. Welcome, Jason.
Hi, Malcolm. Delighted to be here.
Jason, having met you, as I said before, online for our Meet the Leader show, I came away thinking, he's a conscious leader. So excuse the pun, but are you conscious of that yourself? And how has that impacted in the way you've set up Recognise?
So, at the very heart of this for me, Malcolm, is culture. And, very simple mantra. One of my ex-bosses, probably best part of 30 years ago, said to me, treat other people the way you want to be treated. And that extends to whether it's colleagues, whether it's clients, whether it's other key stakeholders. And if you think about it, when we talk about conscious leadership, we're talking about, in a people context, in a colleague context, engagement, recognition, praise, good communication, making people feel collaborative, participative, recognised, hence our name, really, more for the SME clients. And equally, what's important to our customers, what's important to them, whether it's carbon neutral, whether it's transparency and appropriate governance, has to be important to us. Because, if you real relationships about empathy and understanding. And so, yes, it is important. It's very important, but it's not something that you get a diary card out and decide this is the week we're going to do some conscious awareness. It's ingrained in the DNA. At the very heart, this is a people business, no matter whether it's your colleagues and their development and nurturing them to be the best they can be, whether it's our customers with the best customer experience we can have, and equally being really mindful and supporting, local community groups, job creation, all the things that are going to make a difference and sustain people's lives in a better way. And that's really important to us.
Brilliant, Jason. Now, I have the perception that the big banks are jumping onto some of the aspects of the conscious business approach because they have to, not because they want to. Given your vast experience of banking, what's your thinking here?
Yeah, well, it's back to my diary card. I can remember an old boss, and you always learn from, good experiences, bad experiences. He was an ex-auditor. It was TSB. It was very early in my journey. I joined TSB in 1985. Wow, that's a long old time ago. And he was an auditor, and you could tell his diary card had come out because he'd go around thanking people, and authenticity, presence in the moment. It's about the culture and really being switched on. The problem with the big banks is every 18 months they keep changing the leadership, and they've got very short-term goals. And to be honest, I actually think if you look at the experience of SMEs, it's polar opposite to the kind of values and the kind of behaviours we're talking about. There is no empathy, there is no relationship, there is no accessibility, there is no investment or prioritisation. They have been cast aside and dealt with as a cash cow, and they rely on inertia. And frankly, they're more interested in other segments of the market. We're passionate about giving the small business community the recognition they deserve, and putting them right at the top of the tree. We want them to feel prominent, involved. We want them to feel like there's real investment and care and passion for their success, and that's what we're about.
That's music to the ears of many of our viewers and listeners. Ethical banking has been around for a while, and so has ethical investing. But the conscious business is much more than that. It's about leading, not just following. How will Recognize achieve that?
So again, this is an area we take really seriously. And in fairness to the Bank of England, and specifically Mark Carney, the previous governor, this was an area he was quite passionate about, around the environment, carbon neutral, particularly, but other aspects around governance and social. So for us, we believe where we operate, we've got a very distinct obligation to add value. So we've got 4 hubs, Malcolm. We've got London, Manchester, Birmingham and Leeds. And in those hubs where we operate, we're going to be investing in the communities. We already do charitable activities, and it goes back a long way. As I say, it's DNA. So in the Royal Bank of Scotland, gosh, more than a decade ago, I led, when Barnardo's had their centenary year, I led that for the bank. And we raised, our challenge was to raise over £100,000 because it was our 100th year anniversary, and we blasted that target. And I got invited to 10 Downing Street to meet the patron, Sherry Booth, Tony Blair's wife. And it was less about that, but it's more about it's in your DNA. You want to add value, you know, whether it's charitable, community-led, helping small businesses, nurturing people, getting the best out of them. You know, I've got a lad, a 19-year-old lad that's just doing a podcast, and he's as bright as a button. He's only a youngster, and you're drawn to making everybody you touch the best they can be. How can we nurture him? How can we grow? What opportunities can we give him? How can we stimulate him to be the best he can be? And that's inside. You can't pull your diary card out for that.
No, one guy, what was the sheriff of Cheshire once told me, it's just like everybody should learn to put back into the pot, Malcolm.
And it's interesting. Sorry, just very quickly, it's interesting because I think as you get older, you feel privileged.
Yeah,
the opportunities you've had, and the obligations there for you to repeat some of those positive experiences for others. I think it's the single biggest thing that I get a payback at my age. I'm so proud of my team and recognise, and I know the difference we're going to make to small businesses. But I get the biggest buzz seeing people grow and nurture and fulfil the potential.
Yeah, totally. So exciting. Now, as CEO, you quite rightly have to be focused on the profit and the survival of the business. We face tough and uncertain times. That can mean the conscious business values may slip or get eroded. How will you monitor and measure, recognise to avoid such slippage?
Well, I think the first thing is that it's built into our DNA. So clearly KPIs, measurement processes, engagement with your colleagues, engagement with clients. But let me just give you 1 or 2 simple examples right here and now. So we've now, as you've rightly identified, we've got COVID issues, we've got different regional lockdowns. It's a very volatile situation. What that means for a lot of my staff, because I've got people in Manchester, I've got people in the Midlands, they're in lockdown. And obviously London's not far away, and parts of Yorkshire's in lockdown. So it's difficult. So think about somebody, a member of our team, sitting on their own, with a digital environment. Their means of communication is Zoom or Teams or whatever. So we're doing a lot of investment on mental health. We've got a mental health and wellbeing workshop next week, and it's about diet. When you're on your own away, you probably overeat or you eat the wrong things. It's about trying to get balance between work and your home environment, particularly if you're in a constrained space. So that's just from the colleague perspective, but equally from a client perspective, it's really important. People, you remember Co-op Bank, it built a very strong franchise on the back of operating ethically, and whilst they've had the mishap, the core essence of that is still there, and people remember that, and it researches very well, and that is because of their tradition as a cooperative 100 plus years ago. So I think it strengthens the business. It doesn't weaken it. It shows humility. It shows caring for others. It's about investing in communities. It's about helping people. And we care about that passionately. So yes, we'll measure it, but frankly, we do it every day.
Brilliant. Yeah. Jason, the gap between the business customer and the bank has gone from a river to a sea and perhaps an ocean in the past years. How will the values of Recognise under your leadership narrow that gap?
Well, there's 4 key values that we care about passionately. So if you will indulge me, Malcolm, I'll just quickly put you through the 4. So the first thing is about respect. So I've already said it, we treat others the way we like to be treated, whether it's colleagues, customers, brokers, suppliers, makes no difference. Everybody is equally important. We genuinely honour our small business customers. It's an incredibly difficult job they do, but we honour the value they bring to the communities and the economy and the hard work that comes from all of that. They work exceptionally hard and it's so difficult right now. So respect is absolutely key to us. Secondly, simplicity. I've tried to emphasise when we've been talking that we want to be straightforward to work with and to work for our colleagues and our clients. We try to make things uncomplicated. We don't create lots of rules and jargon. We try to make it simple. And we are totally single-minded focus on SMEs. We're the only bank out there that all we think about every minute of every day is SMEs. So we don't want customers to waste time. We want to make it easy for us. So simplicity. Thirdly, hopefully it comes out time and again, the critical importance of relationships. Relationships are so important. I think it's what sets us apart. We build ours on deep understanding. We want to invest time and energy and really get to know our client, what motivates them and the story of their business. We want to be accessible and we want to build trust. We don't take ourselves too serious. We like to have a joke as well. Hell's bells, I'm an Albion fan, so I've got to have a sense.
Well, you need it, yeah.
So relationships is key. And the final one, which is probably less familiar to some of the people joining in, is what we call Kaizen, which is a Japanese term, and it really means about improvement. And we don't think conventionally. We're bringing new thinking. We're disrupting. We want things to change for the better for SMEs. So we're never going to be one of the pack that just follows somebody else or doesn't take a lot of action. So we're always going to look to improve continuously, relentlessly, looking for ways of improving our customer experience. This means challenging all of our team, challenging me challenging others challenging me. And that's absolutely fine because we always want to go the extra mile for our customers and for our colleagues and other key stakeholders. And we're never going to take the easy option. And it's always going to be about SMEs. That's who we really care about.
Wow. Yeah. Jason Oakley, CEO of Recognise. I want to warn you that you're still live. We've followed you so far on this journey. Can we keep coming back?
Well, listen, Malcolm, I enjoy many things in life, but engaging with you is one of them in the very top of the list. So I'd love to come back and thank you for your support to the whole SME community, because without initiatives like yours, we'd be all poorer.
Thank you, Jason. Lovely to chat to you.
Take care. All the best.